Welcome back to Bay Area Focus. Earlier, I interviewed Allison Gilbert, author of Past and Present, Keeping Memories of Loved Ones Alive. Let's take a look. So, Allison, Past and Present, Keeping Memories of Loved Ones Alive. Yes. Tell me about the book.
The book is a work of joy. This is about celebrating loved ones and keeping their memory alive. It's really not a book about sadness and grieving. It's a book about happiness, and it's a book about remembering.
What inspired you to write this book?
Well, I've had my own set of losses. I've lost my mom, I've lost my dad, and I lost their siblings, my aunt and my uncle. So I've been there, and I totally get it. And at some point, you move from this raw place to this place of wanting to commemorate and celebrate what they still mean to you. So I really wanted to come up with a book that would give readers practical ideas, creative ideas, even ideas that use social media, technology, to celebrate their loved ones and kind of keep them with you.
And you brought some of those ideas with you, which I'm really excited about. So you have a plate here.
Right. So this plate has a recipe transferred onto it. So this is the original recipe.
Yes.
It's a coffee cake recipe that belonged to my grandmother. She made the most incredible coffee cake. And one of the ideas in Past and Present is to preserve a recipe. Clearly this can break. Of course it can break. But this can tear and this can get stained. So it's another way of preserving a recipe and making it a part of your life, and also a conversation piece.
No
right?
kidding. Yeah, it's such a great piece. Do you actually serve food on this?
You can totally serve food on it. It is completely dishwasher safe because I'm a busy working mom and I don't want to have, hand washing all my dishes. But the opportunity here is that you can cook something and you can taste it and you can reflect, but now it's a conversation piece that just brings that person up in conversation just a little bit more.
And you think about your grandmother every time you
For
see
sure.
it.
And then most importantly, I can tell my children about her too, because their memories might be a little bit more soft, right? They have to kind of be reminded of her. And so that's a good way of doing it.
And they can learn her coffee cake recipe.
Hey, and they can bake it, and they can go shopping with me for the ingredients, and it's a really, it's an interactive way to kind of get them more involved.
Okay, so I thought the M&Ms were here for the snack, but no.
No, these are not for us to eat right now, although they could be. So the whole goal of Past and Present is to make remembering as easy as possible. It doesn't have to be something that you only do on a certain day of the year. It could just be a food that reminds you of your loved one. So my mother loved anything with nuts in it. She just was a nutaholic. She loved nuts. So on the anniversary of her death, what I like to do is eat something with nuts. So peanut M&Ms, they're available everywhere. If I have that taste in my mouth on the anniversary of her death, a day that could otherwise really cause pain, right? I miss her.
Right.
But to have a taste that's so reminiscent of her and celebratory and fun, it just is a reminder that eating something that could be a reminder of someone could actually lift you up and kind of be empowering.
Do you think a lot of people in their grief, they don't want the reminders at first because it's just too painful? They push that away?
Yeah,
or no?
loss is, in the beginning, clearly, loss is a different beast than it is a year out or 5 years out. So Past and Present is for those times where you want to have a touchstone, when you're feeling open to that opportunity. And there might be different times when that's possible. And so the book is there. It's 85 ideas. You can pick, you can choose, you can go here, you can go there. Some ideas use tech, right? Some ideas are all about Facebook and Twitter and using technology and making your memories contemporary. And some ideas are about photographs and using photographs.
Okay, so you have to show this because
this
this is absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
So we all have, can you see this? We all have photographs. They're two-sided. There's these linen leaves that this artist makes, and all I did.
There they are, right there. Just absolutely
Can you
beautiful.
see that? Aren't they cool?
And that's an older photograph that was printed onto.
I just scanned the photograph to an artist who doesn't even live in the United States, and what I got back from her were these incredible leaves. Think family tree, right? That's how she does it. She even does rose petals and flowers and big, huge branches, and it's a way of making photographs a different kind of part of your life.
Sure.
So you can elevate them and have them be a reason to tell a story.
And technology, social media, I mean, how do you?
So as an example, Facebook is such an incredible tool, right? So on the anniversary of a loved one's death, or maybe it's a birthday, or maybe it's the anniversary of when you got married and you lost your spouse. If you post a picture, that's an awesome thing to do. But the trick, I think, is to encourage your friends on Facebook to write a memory back. So it's interactive. So you kind of get this conversation going, and maybe you'll hear comments about your loved one that you haven't heard before. But the trick is asking. You must ask for that kind of feedback. So post a picture, good. Asking people to share their memories of your loved one, even better.
So you said your book has 85 ideas. How did you come up with all of these ideas?
Oh, well, this was totally fun. So I loved researching this book. I used all my kind of journalist background, but the trick was vetting all the ideas. So it wasn't enough to find them, but did they actually work? So in this particular example of this particular plate with the recipe and these photographs, I found the artists. I wanted to see if their crafts were as good as they said.
Sure.
I wanted to see if they kind of withstood that kind of vetting process. And if they did, then they got into past and present. But it would have been a really frustrating book if I said, you know what, take your recipe and put it on a plate. But how?
Right.
So past and present gives you the resources to do it. They give you the websites, they give you the email addresses, so you can pull it off too.
Yeah, such good ideas.
Yeah.
Allison, thanks so much for joining us and for bringing these lovely ideas.
This is fun. Thank you.
Thanks. And for more information about past and present, log on to AlisonGilbert.com. Again, that's AlisonGilbert.com. Coming up, a book about recovery. We'll be right back.